Jasna pire soo ko bëggee fii si biir Gambia bi dawal foofu sa quality Jasna your number one stop shop ana sama jigéen ñi dama bëgg ngeen jox ma seen nopp garmi yi ndaxte quality Jasna amal nañ leen ay til yu toj daala poos abaaya yu yiiw waaye it amal nañ leen ay boreda yu rafet boreda yoo xam ne pour góor ñi la ak pour jigéen ñi amal nañ leen body scrub yi nga xam ne nii dafay defar seen yaram bam nice waaye it fàttewuñ fa diw yi ana sama jeeg yu pare yi quality Jasna amal nañ leen fa andi cuuraay yu neex house spray ak bépp xeetu baax pour seen biir néeg dama ne atum ren jii ku sa jëkkër mere ku ne yow la neex ndaxte quality Jasna ñëw na si dëkk bi pour defar sëy yi makeup artist yi bàyyi leen gannaaw ñu ngi leen fa amal ay makeup product yu quality waxu leen léegi nii foofa sa Westfield jàkkaarloog monument bi wala nga jokkoo quality Jasna si 250 0124 ak quality Jasna taaral sa bopp taaral sa néeg waaye it bégal sa alaaji aas.
Hello everybody, this is a message from Washington West African Center calling us to mean a community that is loving, peaceful and free from domestic abuse.
Benyum futandila mulma min yalon ko wonne be Washington sate kono ko wato sitale pour nga soutero ke num fanan nga nyo hakilo bulandi domestic violence la sembola warola na kabilol ka natre man nyim faaw domestic violence atele mantoraro sifati aning maral nyaal min yalon ko manki maral nyaa kindoti sakantuma mol tema min yalon ko kan nyoma fulolem na korlal kono ani ngam bulol la nyoka kaje ko na dimbayal soto min yalon ko ibe kala dimbaya kendo lati andum ibe kala fenneti sama fana ani sanyu lonko yimman torarol kamen for domestic violence abe kerinen na kabilol kono bari kibar dima momenti doron wolen ko besem bulol la no nyokanne kaje ko nga bang yin domestic violence amantoro be kewol ni musol bele kam bari asembo fango be warani musol le kam sekeno kilindi le na mol ma ko miliyalon ko nyimman tororol be wolle tam anum fanan kaytandi mol la miliyalon ko wolle be akikan ko ibe men kekan amu kulati miliyalon ko amanya na kela anu mol manya na sunna domestic violence amu kulati miliyalon ko mol buka ko bake anum fanan dol ma famu bake bari wato sitale pour nga ñoo hakilo bulandi misalon anu fanan aben na kabilol kono nyami misa fahamu bari nyimu mo be la sula ko di fanan kaje ko ngi kilinti nyin kamma se dimbal soto dimbal men yalon ko sirin sama se ke fenti andum fanan isen nafa e mo ko dengol nafa pour que ñin domestic violence bali kake ñen taka kabilol la soto men yalon ko taranyo bulu kendol be soto laje adum mbajala ko nga taranyo bulu jawol ngol bank fere nadir tako ite lata le ko nyim mon tororol be kan fero ke yekkumandu ke Washington West African Center la
puteror ni nendiro ke da dabi yela pore o kampande ya mi otorani yalla te ko yalo antano.
Good afternoon, viewers. Greetings from Gambian Talents TV right now here in our studio. We're greeting all the viewers there in and outside of the country. My guest today is not a new person, Honorable, who have been appearing on Bankola Kuwo several times. That is National Assembly Member for Wuli East, Honorable Suwaibu Ture of PDOIS, who happens to be among the National Assembly members. Currently, we hearing different stories with regards to the issue of National Assembly. So, first of all, I'll allow Honorable to greet the viewers. From there, we can get into the issue, Honorable.
Yes, thank you very much. I'm Suwaibu Ture, member representing Wuli East and the Gambia, of course, and a member of the Gambian National Assembly.
Yeah, I this time around it's not Bankola Kuwo. I said this time around it's not
Bankola
Kuwo.
It's something else.
It's not on Bankola Kuwo.
Uh-huh.
You know, you have been appearing on
Yes.
our Bankola Kuwo platform. You've
Exactly.
been recognized there, and then
That's
but
right.
today is different from that.
It's a
So
different
first of all, Honorable, there are a lot of complaints, you know, there, here and there in the social media, in and outside of the country. You know, people saying National Assembly members. We knew before you were part of the National Assembly member, or you are among them who received clothing allowance and other allowances, but you decided to spend it on your people. Understand? Which was very commendable. To buy tractors, you know, build houses. You know, you could have take it, you know, use it anyhow because it was yours. But then this time around, I remember by then we even discussed that issue here. We talked about the issue together with our panel members on Bankola Kuwo. But this time around, in fact, how did this vehicle issue came? The Toyota Prado vehicle issue came about at the National Assembly.
How did it come about? Thank you. It's a good question. As you know, just like you said, 2017, 2018, vehicles were given to the National Assembly members. They are pickups. And like you said, I have not taken that vehicle because it was not clear, the source of the vehicle. And I inquired about the source of the vehicle.
By then, huh?
Yes, but even the National Assembly Authority could not explain anything clear. And therefore, as the rumor continues, the president was eventually asked about the source of the vehicles. But he said explicitly that he would not be able to divulge the person who has donated the vehicles or the person who has provided the vehicles, because that person has told him that he should not divulge his name. And when he said that, well, I said to myself, well, it looks like this is sinister. It's not the safest thing to take something that you don't know, because you are a member of the National Assembly representing the whole country. So in that regard, I rejected that vehicle. Now, I rejected it because it is the National Assembly that actually allocate vehicles and other resources to the various ministries. The recommendations will come from the various ministries, the various departments, the various agencies and commissions, but essentially the final say is the National Assembly. Now, the National Assembly could have allocated vehicles to the National Assembly without having to take vehicles from illicit sources. And that was the reason why I have rejected that. Now, we've done the 5 years of our tenure, and in 2022 budget, which we did in 2021, that was approved in 2021 because it was 3 months to December 2021, so that we approve it before we go for the elections. It was that's where this proposal came, and at that time, the National Assembly also became autonomous. Autonomous in the sense that they decide things on their own. They can propose their budget, they can approve their budget, and it will go to the president, and then the president will, assent to it, put his mark on it. But in something like October 2021, we approved this budget for 2022, and that's where this vehicle scheme was proposed in the budget, and it was approved. But I believe we went through the elections in 2021, then the National Assembly elections in 2022. The scheme could not take off, and therefore it is adjusted. That proposed scheme is adjusted to 2023.
But because of election,
because of the election, time is of the essence at the time. And it is the National Assembly authority that actually did the negotiation, did everything. All what we did is, what we said is, National Assembly members, are entitled to mobility because they have to move to their constituencies, they have to come back, they have to go to various functions, etc., and therefore they need a vehicle. Now, if the scheme is put there, the scheme is saying an allowance is provided to the National Assembly member, which is called kind of travel allowance. Now, that travel allowance, that's what they give you, so that you look for any means to get your constituencies.
Either you buy your own thing or you...
Yes, or you rent cars, whatever means you can go. But the way they give it to you on a monthly basis. So if they give you, for example, it used to be 15,000, if I remember, yes, 15,000.
It was 15.
It was 15,000 in the assembly. Now it is 25,000, 22,000 every month. So if it is given to you every month, you cannot go and buy a vehicle with that. And we will not give it to you in bulk. So therefore, the scheme is saying that 22,000, you multiply that by 5 years, and it will give you something like 1.5 million. And 1.5 million, that will be the contribution of the National Assembly member.
Okay, your own part towards the vehicle.
Yes. So we will forfeit that allowance, and it will go into the vehicle. And the state will also put, their part to be able to provide this vehicle to the National Assembly. Now, if the National Assembly member receives this vehicle, the maintenance of the vehicle, the fueling of the vehicle, the driver of the vehicle is the National Assembly member's business. You will have to employ, if you don't want to drive, you have to employ your own driver. You have to maintain your own people. You have to, the lubricants, the fuel, it is your responsibility.
So, but the vehicle is yours.
The vehicle is not yours until your 5 years is over. If your 5 years is over, and then the cost of the vehicle on your side, then the vehicle will be yours. You can go with your vehicle. But if the 5 years is not over, something happened, for whatever reason, that needs to be reviewed, and then it is on the basis of. So that is this vehicle scheme which the National Assembly has developed as an autonomous institution.
So now is this amount of contribution already been paid by the National Assembly members, or it has to be paid, like you said, from within the 5 years, or it has been paid, like some of you who happen to be part of the past legislature, you happen to be part of this one also. Now, how is that going to be? Because at times you hear rumors saying some of them have been paying before, and now they have to give them the vehicle now. Understand? Contrary to what you were just saying, which is.
Well, the scheme starts, like I said, in 2022 legislation. That is the 6th legislation. That is the new legislation. So all those who won the elections, immediately they came and swore. The assembly started deducting month by month towards the scheme. Now, immediately the government's contribution arrived. The National Assembly Authority, had this contract with the CFRO, and they negotiated, and then they advanced what the government has paid. Now, the agreement is the CFRO will purchase the vehicles, and they will hand over these vehicles to the National Assembly. And the National Assembly will be deducting, as the allowances come, they'll be deducted month by month. It's like every month, all these.
So deduction have been happening
since the beginning of 2022. It will continue until the end of the term of the National Assembly member. So as they deduct us every month, they transfer it to the CFRO account. As they deduct us monthly, they deduct it. But advance has already been given to the CFRO for the government contribution. That's what they have used. Whatever means they have, they did that to be able to bring it.
So it means your
And then also get the
your
licenses.
contribution was supposed to be 1.5,
Yes.
and the government's contribution was
Will
supposed
be
to be
the-
how much?
will be the
Because
rest.
I think in total
Well-
it is 2.5, right?
Well,
I'm not
the
mistaken.
press release has been here from the authority, from the clerk, which is half and half. It's 50-50. The National Assembly will provide 1.5. Member will provide 1.5 through this allowance, and in the state will provide 1.5.
So which is going to be 3
I-
million.
It's 3 million.
By going by that,
Yeah.
going by that. So now you have a lot of complaint
I
from
know.
people. What is your reaction to that from people? You understand? Complaining that
Yeah,
National Assembly members, we voted you to represent people. You are there representing yourself. How do you react?
Yeah, well, my reaction, first reaction was with the, I don't know, this media company from the US. For the people, by the people.
From the
For the people, by the people.
Kasamaja and others.
Yes,
they are-
they gave me a long interview, and then I explained what I just told you. And there is other issues, concerns from people, like one of the things that you have said. Yes, when you elect somebody to represent you, you have given various roles to that person. That person is a lawmaker. He also becomes a representative. And representation is wide. And he's also an overseer. He has the role of oversight. And then you have other roles that are not prescribed. So it's like you are everybody's person. Now, that person has to do his or her work. It is the responsibility of the state. You are working for the state. No difference between state and government. When you are working for the state, is what you are working for the country. And it is the country now that has prescribed that role for you to provide you the means to be able to do your work. If you want the Wuli East representative to go to the East every month, to visit the people, to look at the projects that are there, to look at the conditions of the people, conditions of any other thing, and report to the National Assembly, and advocate in the National Assembly, etc., etc. You have to give the means to that member to be able to go and to come, and to be able to go adequately and to come adequately. Now, in terms of the cost, the members of the National Assembly did not say we want a vehicle which is this amount. They did not say that. They only told us we are going to make a contribution scheme, and your contribution will be, your allowance on this travel thing will go into the vehicle. What type of vehicle they bring, that is their own negotiation. Secondly, that negotiation also that is done by the authority, the National Assembly authority, is also based on the policy of the government that is in place. And the policy of the government is that they are not going to buy substandard vehicles. Whenever they are putting government money into buying vehicles, it cannot be substandard, it can only be standard vehicles. Means
new one.
It has to be new, it has to be some people. These are people who are going all the way to Kantora, to Wuli, everywhere, and they are going off the road. So they need a good vehicle, and that's what they provide for all the civil servants, all the public servants, and that's what they have to provide for the National Assembly as well. If you give me my own allowance, I can go and buy a small Benz and then do my own trial to get to my constituency and back. But if the state is going into buying vehicles, their policy is that they will not buy any vehicle which is less than 2.5. And those are the, them call it four-wheel drive, etc., and they must be new. That is the scheme. So the cost is not the National Assembly member that says it must be 3 million. It is the state that prescribes the 3 million, the cost of the vehicle. Now, from from 2.5, how it reaches 3, for example, I wouldn't know unless I inquire. Because the clarification of the clerk did not mention the price and did not mention why it has reached that. But I suppose something that is approved in 2022, we know the currency is depreciating. And the dollar is appreciated. And that's why all the prices are going up. All the inflation is going up. And the reason why one can deduce that one of the possibilities of the increase in terms of price will be based on the inflation that is taking place. Secondly, since you are not giving all the money to CFRO at one go to go and buy vehicles, it looks like the negotiation, only the clerk will be able to explain that. And you journalists don't want to go to the authority. Whenever this type of happen,
we will go.
you should go to the clerk.
We will go.
You have the clerks there, they are the authority. You have the speaker there, you have the clerks, you have all those things. They are the ones who did the negotiation with the CFO. They know all these small details. But I'm only saying that if, a vehicle is costing something like 3 million in the market, and then these people do not give all the money to these people, he will eventually get all his money in 5 years. I would assume that the price will go up. If I were a vehicle seller, company that is selling people, and it's like you want to loan vehicle from me, and you're not going to give me all my money until 5 years. I would assume, if I were that person, I would bargain so that I add something so that I will not lose. When at the end of the 5 years, I will not lose. So I'm just assuming. I'm not a businessman. But I assume that businessmen never lose. They never want to lose. So they will do that type of arrangement. Now, it is left to the businessman's impunity to go to the world, to the market, to the company outside. And also, I know they must also do that, to negotiate. To negotiate in such a way that they will get it at a reduced price. Because if you are going to buy 58 vehicles, if I am a company that somebody is buying 58 vehicles from me, if we bargain, I believe that they are going to also get it less, far less than if somebody wants to buy only one vehicle. Yes. You understand? Yes. So I assume that even though the price at the market is high, but the company that is giving the contract would be able to get the vehicle less than 3 million at the world market.
But it seems the National Assembly likes to make a very clear communication with regard to what you were saying.
I will send you. I can send you the communication they have made.
What I'm saying with regards to the percentage the members are going to pay and the percentage the.
I said the communication is 50-50.
But to me, I think they should have gone at least a bit deeper to try to explain how did it get to, you understand?
You get to them. They are doing their job. If you want to know all those details, you get to them. When you call the National Assembly member at the home and say, come and explain, and we don't know all those details.
I'm just saying, we will get to them. So now, the concerns people are raising are that government wants to by the National Assembly members, that is to control them, so that after giving you the vehicles and other things, understand. These are not concerns from me, but then
I understand.
Somebody is watching right now.
I understand.
Might be thinking this here. So I never want to hear from So these are some of the concerns.
Yes, they have to understand that the National Assembly is autonomous. And when you say the National Assembly is autonomous, it means that the National Assembly runs itself, like the judiciary. They run themselves. So since they run themselves, we have our committees, and we have what we call the Privileges Committee. We also have the Ethics Committee. So the Privileges Committee is the committee that actually look into the affairs of the members and say, well, National Assembly members need this, they need this, they need this, they need this. And then when it comes to budgeting, they sit down with the authority and they propose the budget for the National Assembly, whether it is allowances whether it is constituency allowance, whether it is CDF, whether it is clothing allowance. They are the ones who put all these things there. They said the speaker has a clothing allowance, the deputy speaker has a clothing allowance, etc. And therefore, they are all members. It is they who said, well, all other members also need clothing allowance, because in the National Assembly, once you are a National Assembly, you are equal to all other National Assemblies. You understand? All other members. So this one should not get A and you deprive B. All of them. But in terms of how much they get, that can vary depending on the nomenclature in the National Assembly. The hierarchy.
Like, for example,
Yes.
majority leader.
Majority leader will, of course, get more than the other members. Minority leader will get more than the other members. And the speaker will get more than all of them. That's always there. Just like the president will receive more than the ministers, and vice versa. The vice president will receive more than. So it is like that. That is the system. That is the policy in place. Now, it is the National Assembly that is responsible for catering for its own members. You understand? To make the National Assembly more and more independent, so that the members can do their job more independently without having to rely on any other department or ministry. You know that was a time when members used to when they want to go to their constituency. The allowance was so small that they would not be able to fuel their vehicle from here to Basik. Some of them would go to the department, somebody in a department that they know, and say, please help us with fuel because I cannot go. I want to visit my constituency, but I cannot go. And these people will provide fuel. And the National Assembly is playing oversight on all those departments. And so when you give fuel to a member, how can that person become effective when it comes to scrutinizing you in an issue? That person cannot scrutinize anymore. He's already weak. So the National Assembly is trying to make members independent to the extent that they can do their work without having to rely on any other person. And they can do everything based on their conscience in their representation. That is the objective of all these schemes that you are hearing.
All right. I believe that part is clear.
You think it's clear?
Yeah. I mean, the whole. So, basically, now for you, on your own part, you are taking the vehicle, or you are not taking?
Yes, I said it to many reporters. I even made a clarification in my WhatsApp and sent it to my constituency, and said, "This is the situation. If you want me to take, if you think that this is excessive, because what I do is that if."
So it seems you went back to your people and engaged them again.
Yes, I had to engage them because it became an issue. Yeah. If let me explain. If the National Assembly makes any allowance, any budget which is excessive, which to me is excessive, I would take part of that allowance and take it to my constituency.
Like the other allowances.
Just like I take for the clothing allowance, I took everything. I even add something to the clothing allowance.
I was following that one.
When they give me 700,000, that is for my gratuity. That is my gratuity. Even though it is entirely my gratuity, I decided to take that gratuity and bought a tractor. Right now, you go to my constituency, the tractor is working. I gave it to a constituency, community-based organization, which is running that. And they make it a reduced cost when you want to plow an acre. They make it, for example, 500. While others are making it 700, 650, 800, they are making it 500. And that money that they are generating from that tractor will be plowed back to the constituency again, in terms of milling machines, in terms of any other thing, any other small project that money can do. And I will continue to put all these allowances that I am receiving. You know that right now, I'm running two major projects in my constituency. One is to dig a borehole, provide a borehole facility to Sarakali, which is a hamlet, which is a hamlet of something like 4 compounds. But when would the central government reach that community to provide them something? to take ages, maybe 1,000 years. You know, I'm providing also another borehole facility for Sare Medina, which is also is relatively bigger because it's about 15 compounds. You understand? But that will cost me about $1 million. But I'm using my allowances for
Your own allowances.
my own allowances. It's my own funds to provide these boreholes for these two communities. And if this year I succeeded in doing that, because I do it piecemeal, as I receive the allowances, I keep on taking them, you know, until it is done. I've done that in the Fifth Assembly. Now I will continue to do that. The allowance they are giving me, if it is excessive, it's going back. That's my position. I don't intend to use any, but this one is a vehicle. If I go back to the National Assembly, and I did that, I said, give me my 1.5.
You did that?
I did that. I said, why don't you give me my 1.5 so that I can go and buy my own vehicle, get my change. You understand? And I believe I can still do my this thing. But that scheme does not allow that, because this is a government scheme. You understand? They will never be able to do anything outside of the scheme because it's approved by the parliament. You understand? You must put in yours, they put in theirs. But even though I'm trying on my own to go to my constituency, my son gave me a vehicle in the Fifth Assembly, but it's now derelict because it's an old. We bought it something like 500,000 in Europe and sent it, but it's now derelict because it is old electronic vehicle. And you know, this place with the doors and everything got burnt. And I had to put another machine. Now it's kaput. It's completely kaput. So the allowances for me are excessive. You understand? If I'm not using any vehicle, you give me 25,000 to go to my constituency, I'll be able to join the bus. You understand? And when I get to Brazil, I take a taxi. But then the problem is, if I want to stay there for a week, that taxi has to be with me for a whole week, going up and down. And the roads are very bad. So these are the issues. So this vehicle, I cannot cut it into two. I cannot sell it. Because as long as I'm in the National Assembly for the 5 years, you cannot sell this vehicle. Because it belongs to government, it belongs to you. So you are jointly owning the vehicle in the scheme. So when you have to wait until the 5 years. After the 5 years, the vehicle is your vehicle.
It's your own now.
Yes. After your 5 years service, the vehicle will belong to you. But from now on to 2027, you cannot sell the vehicle. You cannot mortgage it. You cannot put your own name there.
So when you engage them, like you were just saying, on a WhatsApp group, and how was the conversation?
No, you know, the people feel that this is somebody who has rejected the first vehicle, and you know that I belong to a party which has only two members in the parliament, and you have rejected those vehicles in those years. You know that when you rejected those vehicles in 2020, 2018, you have media people who went to the media and they were insulting me. You don't know that. You have media people who are insulting me.
For what reason?
For rejecting the vehicle. Who am I to reject the vehicle? Who do we feel? Who are we, the doing people, to reject?
Now, based on what?
Huh?
Based on what?
They feel that it's like you are just sabotaging other members who have taken the vehicle. You are just sabotaging the government. When the government was moved, and I think their support for the government was very high. People like Sergio Barrow, I think you know Sergio.
Yes, journalist Sergio Barrow
had a program on this thing, was even mentioning my name physically in the program, and you know, and saying, who am I? You know, this vehicle is given to people to help their constituencies, to help people to even carry, you know, in terms of funeral, you know, and so on and so forth. In terms of naming ceremony, you know, they want to take a gingerbread and all this, we can help them. So he was making all those misinformation in the media. So my people had all these things, and now they are very uncomfortable. That even though my allowance has gone into this, if I don't take this vehicle, it's like I will still continue to struggle. And many times I go there, I have to tie my vehicle when it is broken there and pull it all the way to Bankola. So they are saying, let me take the vehicle because my allowance has gone there. If we had the majority in parliament, we could say something. Maybe we could devise something and reduce whatever we'll be able to. But in this case, the majority decides in parliament. When they approve, they approve. It's like you take or you don't take. But you cannot take, you cannot say, I'm not taking, and then you can say, let me claim your money. They will not give you your money back. So you will be without vehicle, you will be without your allowances.
So this seems according to
It's a scheme.
it seems it seems very strange.
Yes, it is.
So
It is.
yeah. So how about the issue of trust fund? National Assembly, do you have?
No, we don't
do you
have trust
anything
fund.
like trust fund?
No, we don't. We don't. What we have, which is maybe similar to that, is revolving fund. Revolving fund. If you want to do some under this 100,000, I believe the threshold is 100,000. If you, for example, you need urgently some money, and you can only take it in a year, once in a year. But even that revolving fund has not come up yet. For this assembly, it is not working yet. But for the fifth assembly, it was working.
It was working.
Members were taking that revolving fund. You take the 100,000, and then you use it, and then they keep deducting it from you until it is done. So members were benefiting from that revolving fund. But there is nothing like trust fund. But if your 5 years is finished, you get your graduate.
So even though you are representing your people at Wuli East, what was the reaction of your party leader, or didn't you consult your party leader
No,
at the party level?
Yeah.
We know PDIS is very different from other political parties. You understand? You were the only party that rejected those vehicles before. So though it's very different from other parties.
We rejected the vehicles the last time, but we did not sit down and discuss whether we should reject or not. It's just consensus that we see that we should not take this vehicle because the source.
So that did not come from Halifax?
We have never discussed that. In fact, I was the first person to say that, I will not take this vehicle. I was the first person to make that proclamation. So we have never, ever sat down and discussed, even up to today. Everybody.
But you have people saying probably Salif Asala who, would, don't want you guys to be.
No, Halifax has nothing to do with this. Syria has nothing to do with this. When it comes to the land, you know that I took the land.
Okay,
the land that was allocated, I took the land. And I know that other members have, like, Usman and Halifax, they have not taken the land. Syria also has not taken the land. There are reasons for these things. Syria was in the assembly for long, and this land was provided. And then Halifax was there, land was provided. They know what they have done at their time. But you are entitled to only once.
But their time, they took it.
No, I think Syria took, but Halifax has not taken. But Syria has taken the land. And I took the land. It's an entitlement. It is the state. When you are a National Assembly member, it is the state. It's not only a National Assembly member. If you are a senior civil servant, if you are a public servant, senior public servant, if you are a National Assembly member, if you are a minister, you are entitled to state land. You understand? And it's at no cost. You understand? So, but the other thing is that the National Assembly in other countries would build a quarters. A quarters for the National Assembly members. And as long as you are here for that 5 years, you stay there with your family. If you desire, you stay in that apartment for 5 years. And then when your 5 years is over and you don't come back to the National Assembly, you are evicted from or you leave the apartment, and then the new entrant gets into the apartment. I believe that is more cost effective for the state. Because when I went to Cameroon, I resided in one of those apartments during my trip there. Because I was linking to the Cameroonian Parliament. We were working on this anti-corruption, Africa Anti-Corruption Committee. So network, it's African Network Against Corruption. So we went there for that conference. I stayed there, and then I happened to see the apartment where MPs are staying. But after 5 years, when they don't come back, they leave. They prepare their own place and then they leave. But then all this thing is a policy that wants to help National Assembly members to become comfortable so that they can do their job. I believe if the Gambia adopts that, and I recommended this to them when we are talking about this more than twice. I said
it is vehicle issue.
No, the land issue. I said you, instead of giving land to National Assembly members, every new National Assembly member that comes, you give him land. that will not be sustainable because land will eventually become scarce. What you need to do is to build the quarters because I've seen that in other countries. Senegal is doing it, other countries are doing it, Cameroon has been. You can build that. Go and study how they do it. You can build that, and then that may be cost effective. And even tell the member that as long as you stay in that quarters, it is your responsibility to fix any damages that was done there. And if you are leaving, we'll ensure that any damage that is done there, you have to fix it first before you leave. You can put those policies. And then when you build it, it's once in a lifetime. It is there. That will be more cost effective than everybody who comes in Jeep. You know, it is the state that should provide the land. They should also build the land. And then the National Assembly stays there. So now, instead of doing that, they just give you land and say, you build it and stay there.
Okay, the empty land. Then
they just give you empty land and stay there, and you take it and stay there. You know, that's cheating the National Assembly member impact. They should build the place, the National Assembly stays there, member stays there. After the 5 years, he leaves, and then another party comes and stay there. It will go for many years before the state, but they are not ready to do that. So they keep providing land. I think for this new entrance, they could not even get land yet. The land is becoming, just like I told them, it's becoming scarcer and scarcer. So that issue too is there.
Yeah. So how was the reaction of members then with regards to this vehicle issue? You know,
members, the National Assembly members.
Yes, with regards to this vehicle issue before, you know, even before the National Assembly start buying them, something like that. You know, was there disagreements, and you know, you have some people who don't want to take it, for example.
No, that was like I said, it is approved in 2021 for the 2022 budget. It's like these other new members do not even partake in the debate, and we the other members in the Fifth Republic, in the Fifth Assembly, did not even debate that budget where it was provided, because it is the National Assembly became newly autonomous, and immediately became autonomous. We give the benefit of the doubt to the authority. We believe that whatever they would put for our budget, you know, will not be a bad thing. You understand? So we just leave the budget to go. It was not debated. In fact, I stood up to someone told me, well, you know, let's give them the benefit of the doubt. No, this one, let's go, because we are tired now. It's like, you know, it's almost in the morning. You have been there since morning, up to you slept there, you know, working until, you know, in the afternoon, 2 o'clock. So it looks like, this is our own budget, and we have, you know, it's proposed by our assembly, so let's just leave it. That's how it went. There was no debate in this. And like I said, the cost and the methodology, the scheme is done by the authority. Members have no role to play. No, they have no role. Absolutely.
So do you, if for example you need to take anything, you have to know it clearly, for example, you have to know it and know everything about it, and from there you can take it?
Yes, like I said, the loan scheme is there. That one is optional. If you want to take it, you take it. If you don't want to take it,
the loan scheme is how much?
The loan scheme is 100,000.
Okay, 100,000.
100,000. If it is approved. But you can take less.
Probably 100,000 will not be able to buy.
No, it depends on what you want to do. If you, you know, people have different needs. If it comes to Tobaski, for example, and you just want to take it for Tobaski, go to your village, buy a sheep for your mother or and your father or your uncle, or that's your, you know, you can take it. Okay. If it is something else that 100,000 can do, you can take it. If it is more than that, they will not be able to give you, because the scheme is only 100,000.
You should not go beyond that.
You should not go. You can take less, or you can take the 100,000. So I'm saying there are certain things that may be optional, but there are certain things. For example, this one, it is. If you don't want, this is not optional. If you don't want the vehicle, they will be giving you your allowance in bits.
Okay, that is the 22,000. Huh?
Yes, they will give you. They will give you in bits. They will not put it together and give you, but they will give you in bits.
Every month they give.
Yes.
They will give you.
Yes, I will not explore that because I wanted the vehicle. I will not explore that this thing. But I actually inquire and say, if I want to you want to give me all together. But that's what they will do. That one they will not accept. So these are collective working together. It's not
maninga ko fangere cedu maninga ko la be juberlal hani ka be ten tadron be jela ma fale albe programme min jube kan tembola be na kale men to wala governmental activity dum alning albadi malen sref konte tembola kachala men soto ja wala honorable soebu tureti memu député di Wuli East tunno kam no comment to diamo siata national assembly la ko to député la ko to tumala min na national assembly nyinge ko min nyanta kam moto sanne mi alon ko ngamin jenu wala ko moto kilo bitale fo 1.2 million dollars pour kaje ko kay sang national assembly members so so no min bita kanya na moto talulu ani sedi bari diamo siara kumo be fala although assembly fana safero kele kunu ngajele safero kele ko modo wasabo kamala nga honorable ko pour na kacha pour salon fo nyimna tan nyaadi le na moy député fo wala bawo itella boko mente wala loi de lati ma fo kan ngale kamala bari maninga kam moy la finance sawoto pour wal finance do moje honorable o ibe sen kan ro kala doron ku dan tan la bayo tabe sen kan wato ta tale bari nyim moto nyin la ko na tan nyaadi le pour ka moto di national assembly député la men kata 1.5 adu fare nyim fo le jabi do ko min national assembly même banque wala ko itel be half le jola so même be ite atel be 1.5 le jola e bola bon la tel la alla joto 1.5 but assembly me indicate wala ko albe half le jola e fana half jo so to sabo kamala ni ya jube don ibale la obita kay na ta gula be kay na 3 million la bos 150 ni ala fanyo 300 la but sila pour que ni ko banque don na ta nyadi le
ya ibn barabage comme ngam fu wala ni ko député boom aketa boom dalti kamin autonomy wala mi aya fansut sanji wala min tambita député boom e duwati ta ko comme constitution mun fu député boom nyanta lola fanya président la bunda ko nyanta lola fanya ka vole executive judiciary ke to boom la bunda fa nyanta lola fanya mun bunda sabo mul ka vole man sakunda bunda sabo wala ka banko tamande ya famde modol ye bunda nani jawkijin bari ka fuko fourth estate wala mu kibar bunda wala mu bunda nani jawdi bari tun o man tan man sakunda ya fam so ni bunda ibe lori fanyile président la kamate député bunkan kiti bun ala kamate député bunkan député bun la kamate kiti bunkan kiti bun la kamate président la ni bebe tamake fanyele comme loi be non di fanyele now bari wo député bula lo nya jani del bina député bunto yino amasa wo député bu man council ya fam aka mun ko na koku bunda to malaka adada ina ya dun député bunto ya fam ya ko ni be kala la budget to sai ni albitamo le ni sa fo dinna gamin ministre men mata député boom you know ni député boom independent legislature itelle kan wadida ya fam banko kan oto inento le independent sotla aisa so 50 assembly ngafo o parliament do min tambita de tarso jele bari nga won di Allah na ati be ya lon ko ay député boom ke independent president la kanta jeri ministre la kanta kan you kiti bunga kantaka ni député mo elwadida loi me ya lonko do yaje ko o loi ay loi bukuba o mu constitution ay o sosole isitanu kiti bumba ka fuko ni loi me da
Hello, everybody. This is a message from Washington West African Center calling us to mean a community that is loving, peaceful, and free from domestic abuse.
Benyum futandila mol mamin yalon ko wolle be Washington sate kono. Ko wato sitale pour nga soutero ke num fanan nga nyo hakilo bulandi domestic violence la sembola warola na kabilol ka. Natre man nyim faaw. Domestic violence atele mantoraro sifati aning maral nyal min yalon ko manki maral nya kendoti melka kenu aning hani kabiya ka kele sakantuma mol tema min yalon ko kanu ñoma fulol lem na kordal kono ani ngam bulol la ñoka kaje ko nga dimbayal soto min yalon ko ibe kala dimbaya kendo lati andum ibe kala fenneti sama fana ani sanyu lonko yimman torarol kamen fo domestic violence abe kerinen na kabilol kono bari kibar dima momenti doron wolen ko besem bulol la no ñokanne kaje ko nga bang yin domestic violence amantoro be kewol ni musol bele kan bari asembo fango be warari musol le kan nsakeno kilindi le na mol ma ko miliyalon ko nyimantoro rol be wolle tam anu fanan kaytandi mol la miliyalon ko wolle be akikan ko ibe men kekan amu kulati miliyalon ko amanya na kela anu mol manya na sunna domestic violence amu kulati miliyalon ko mol buka ko bake anu fanan dol ma famu bake bari wato sitale pour nga ñoo hakilo bulandi salon anu fanan aben na kabilol kono nyami sa fahamu bari nyimu mo be la sula ko di fanan kaje ko nga hikkilinti nyin kamma se dimbal soto dimbal men yalon ko sirin sama se ke fendi andum fanan isen nafa e mo ko de wol nafa pour ka ñin domestic violence bali kake ñen taka kabilol la soto men yalon ko taranyo bulu kendol le soto laje adum mbajala ko nga taranyo bulu jawol ngol ban fere nadir tako ite latale ko nyim mon tororol be kan fero ke yekumanduro ke Washington West African Center la
Put that on in and do the other kid that